Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode number 22 of the Ask Aviator podcast and live stream. If you're listening to this on a podcast, come on and join us once upon a time for one of these live, because it's really fun to have the interaction with all of you guys. And I now have the comments in front of me, so I will actually be able to read them and interact with you guys. But I'm going to ask Catherine, would you grab my water bottle, which I believe is in my office? That or it's that one right there. I don't know. Guys, super stoked for episode 22. This episode is quite probably going to be the most intensive episode we've ever had as far as sharing information, news, and reports. Lots of really cool stuff going on. Lots of stuff I'm really excited to share, and a lot of it is stuff that actually happened today. So like this is new, it's fresh, and we're very, very excited about it. So hello again to everybody who's here. Jim CR120, Derek Trout, Jordan Kenny, Kristen Solano, Eric Sheridan, Saeed, Fools Hill, Shadow Kitten, Cody Esterline, Ripman Ryden. Jeez, we got a bunch in there. Jay Williams. Guys, it's great to have everybody there. Yes, water only, because I'm going to try to fly tonight. I'm going to try to fly my aeroplane because it's a beautiful day, and all right, my guest tonight wants to try to see what it's like to fly in a really fast little airplane. So we're going to make that happen for him. But yeah, I want you guys to please get your questions ready. Ready yourself. Be excited. We are always here to answer questions. We're always here to promote knowledge in the sport, period. But please get those questions ready for us. And in addition to that, I would love to have you guys take some time really quickly to share this on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Tequila, whatever, wherever you are. Please take the time to share this. I appreciate the water. Thank you. So that said, I'm going to introduce my guest, and then we will start dialing things in as far as exactly what to expect. But first, I must drink water. Okay, I feel slightly less like I'm dying now. All right. PPG Bob Father, great to have you back. Jay Williams, great to have you. James Dunn, always a pleasure. We've got some really great folks in here. Glad to have everybody. There's Jeff Booth, one of our favorites, past guest on the show multiple times, and co-founder of the Aviator Foundation. So he's here with us today. I have some things to talk to you about, Jeff. I had some ideas about the foundation, more stuff going on, some really cool stuff that we can do using the foundation to protect fun flying for pilots everywhere. So I'm really excited about that. All right, so my guest tonight is a young man who many of you guys have probably heard about through some of our Facebook postings and YouTube stuff. A few weeks ago, I flew a motor for him up to Georgia so that he could continue his trek from Denell in Florida all the way up to Oshkosh. And I believe, have you turned 19 yet? Not yet. So he's 18 years old. He's a private pilot. He almost has his A&P, airframes and power plant mechanics license. The guy has so much experience. It's crazy for his age. But more than his experience and more than his focus on flying on that crazy adventure, he has a deep-seated, true passion for the sport. And not just this sport, but flying in general. You know, it's been really neat to watch him and see how he's gone from literally sewing his own wing to not dying somehow, and going from a chainsaw paramotor, literally a chainsaw, to flying across the entire country. So Bo, come over here, man. You can walk any way you want to walk. It doesn't matter to me. Just don't die. Yeah, that's all right. So Bo Feldman, how you doing, man?
Doing great.
Having fun yet?
Oh yeah.
All right, we're gonna get you close to the mic.
Sweet.
Lean in tight. We want to be like a
mic.
fist away from the mic. There you go. You got good audio, John? Does he sound beautiful?
Lower your chair.
Lower your chair. Okay.
Like that? Okay.
Lower in the chair. So you've done a lot of crazy things in your life.
Yes.
Without a doubt, flying to Oshkosh on a butt fan is probably up there.
Probably so, yeah.
What got you into flying in the first place? Can I tell your story a little bit?
Okay, so first wanted to fly when I was 7 years old. Actually stuck in traffic in Atlanta, Georgia, off the end of Hartsfield there, watching airplanes go over. And that was when I couldn't stop, whether it was trying to build model airplanes or working my way into getting an airplane ride. I couldn't stop trying to fly from then. So I didn't actually start flying until I guess I started taking my private pilot lessons when I was 16. And I had just started that when a friend at church told me, hey, Bo, we were at the beach the other day and saw these things. They're like parachutes, and you run into the air. And I was like, okay, running into the air sounds fun. So went home, looked it up, found a $250 paramotor wing on Craigslist, went down, picked it up, did a bunch of kiting with it. It was 32 meters. I think the weight on it was about 20-something pounds, because it was made in like 1992. And
high quality.
The brakes were pulled in about a foot, so I could not get it to come up more than 45 degrees. And you could breathe through it like a mask. Like, I mean, it was craziness. So anyway, I played with that, worked my rear end off with that out in the hot sun, and until finally one day I saw a picture of me doing it, and I noticed the brakes were pulled in. That's when my feet were able to leave the ground. The first few hand toes, I got some friends to do that. So then had to fly somehow with a motor. Ended up buying a paramotor from a friend at the place where I now work. And it was a Fly Products Gold 130 trike with a couple of wings.
I remember that motor.
Yeah, I flew it here. Yeah. Learned how to fly that. Taught myself, almost killed myself a few times.
And that's as a private pilot and a powered parachute pilot already.
Well, powered parachute pilot came later. Actually, I wasn't a private pilot yet either. I was still student pilot.
Okay.
So I'm going through my flight training at this time. Well, I was doing flight training like one lesson every couple of weeks because the flight instructor was always on vacation, and I only worked at this place one day a week, so whenever our schedules matched up. So anyway, yeah, that was some of my sketchiest times, was trying to teach myself how to fly that.
This was why we encourage good training.
Yes, encourage good training for sure. So, where was I? Flying the Fly Products.
Yep.
Ended up selling that because I knew I wanted to foot launch, and I did foot launch it. And true story, I took off with the Fly Products. I weighed 110 pounds. It weighed 97 pounds. And I torqued myself over. Had a 3-blade 130 centimeter prop on a 200cc Simonini motor. So I torqued myself over, decided foot launching wasn't for me.
At least on that motor.
Yeah, so, well, I thought everything was like that now. So anyway, I sold that rig, made money on it, amazingly. You never make money in paramotors, but did it. Yes, exactly. And ended up buying a powered parachute because I knew I wanted to take people up and share the experience. So still fly the powered parachute, and that's when I got my fixed wing private pilot rating and my powered parachute rating almost the same time. That was right when I turned 18. Okay. So
it's been a big year for you.
Yeah, I've learned a lot in the last year. So,
what made you think it was a good idea to fly your paramotor to Oshkosh?
So, flying a paramotor to Oshkosh came from flying a paramotor to Sun and Fun.
Right.
That's
a slightly different thing, because Sun and Fun is
80 miles. Yeah. Right. So flying a paramotor to Sun and Fun, it was a home-built paramotor that I welded together with EMT. And Blackhawk 125 motor that ran sometimes. Anyway,
that's a pretty glowing endorsement.
It was awesome.
I was going to say the same for your Bitter Aussie that you had for a while.
Yes, that's true, but that had who knows how many hours. So that was my first cross country of more than 10 miles. And at that point, I was like, I've flown this route fixed wing several times, but I haven't flown this route and seen this.
Different feeling.
It's totally different. When you're crossing that much ground at 30 miles an hour, to be able to see in detail, I mean, it's just amazing. I love the cross-country aspect.
Even up high.
Even up high. Yeah. Even up high, it's great. I mean, actually on the way to Oshkosh, I was at 4,000 feet. Everybody else wanted to go underneath, so there was tons of airplanes underneath of me flying to Oshkosh. So But yeah, I mean, you climb up to 10, 12,000 feet and turn the motor off and to do cross countries with thermals. It's awesome. You know, just every
opens the sport. You definitely increase your risk profile in some areas.
Absolutely.
But it opens up the sport so much once you have the skill and ability. That's why I tell everyone, like, come to the PPG3 class, take the thermaling clinic, get the trike transition clinic, like, do all these things because it opens the sport in different areas every time, and that's what makes it so fun.
Right. Which I should probably take the PPG3 class.
Yeah, we should work on that.
It would be good. I did do an SIV course before I started doing a bunch of cross countries, and SIV course was awesome. I had to throw a reserve actually in it, which I think is a great experience. But I learned some things about my equipment that way also. So ended up changing over to ozone at that point. So yeah, then I was bitten by the cross country bug. So I started flying cross countries across Florida.
Yeah, you flew across to both coasts, right?
Yeah, I flew from coast to coast. I started flying back and forth to work. So my yard is like barely big enough so that if the weather's just right, I can take off out of it. Not with the Sirocco. With my old dudek, I can take off. No, you can't get it. I can't. The Sirocco, you got to run too far. But and it's about as far to drive as it is to fly, as long. So about 30 miles or so. So
that's a pretty good
haul.
To work.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good little distance. So you get some actual cross country time. Get to go. It's not just a hop.
Right.
So,
yeah, you get to explore some.
Right.
So you decided to go to Oshkosh. Talk to us a little bit about the planning process, and any pain points. What were your expectations? How did it measure up?
Okay, so expectations were, I have absolutely no clue how this trip is going to terminate, because you're flying a chainsaw-sized 2-stroke engine and just hoping it's going to make it for 35 hours of absolutely no maintenance.
Right.
On auto gas. These engines aren't necessarily reliable. We can do a lot, but we can't quite make them like an airplane.
No, they're extremely high compression, extremely high running. It's
like a dirt bike.
Yeah, it's like a dirt bike, except that it's supposed to keep you off the ground.
Exactly. So in that way, I wasn't 100% sure how it was going to terminate, but I knew I was going to make it somehow.
Right.
Because I wasn't going to stop. So,
were you more worried about the equipment or the weather?
The weather was a big one. More about the weather, probably.
I mean, you had a hurricane going on as you were flying north. Small detail.
Yeah. So, about a week out from the trip, I'm looking at the weather and seeing this hurricane developing out in the Gulf, and I actually was excited about the hurricane because of the rotation it was spinning. If it was on the East Coast, it would have been horrible, giving me a headwind the whole way. But it was on the West Coast, so it gave me a tailwind. I was getting a lot of people sending me questions. Hey, what are you doing about the hurricane? I'm like, I can't change the hurricane. I'm going to ride it. And that's exactly what happened. I did have to wait on the ground a lot because of pop-up storms and whatnot from the hurricane, or not pop-up, but storms crossing.
Right.
But it pushed me along. I saw ground speed. My fastest ground speed I ever saw was like 55 knots.
That's not bad.
So, which that was for a short time, but yeah, it's not bad. I crossed Kentucky. It was a 123-mile flight. I didn't land, and it took like 3 hours. So
that's so sick.
It was pretty good at some points. I had some awesome tailwinds. So there was no smooth flying.
No smooth flying.
No smooth flying.
Any major deflations?
Yeah. Plenty of major deflations.
How about the interaction? Because you went from an uncertified wing to an ENC certified wing.
Yes.
Which you were flying in a non-certified trim, I'm sure.
Yes.
How did the Sirocco handle the deflations?
The Sirocco handled. So before, what I have most of my experience on is a dudek nucleon.
Right.
And the characteristics of a dudek nucleon is it's awesome in the air. It carves it up. It just flies really solid. When it deflates, it's very dramatic. Like an asymmetric can almost spin you around, and then you're going to want to dive like crazy. Whereas an asymmetric on the Sirocco, is probably half that. I
Interesting.
mean, it comes out. It's just back.
Well, that's
out.
what you want when you're going to fly. Is it 800 miles?
Exactly. No, it was 1,100 and something. So 950 something nautical miles.
All right. So Catherine was talking to Jason before the show and asked him what was his favorite flight so far. Talk to me about your favorite flight on the Oshkosh trip.
Oh my goodness.
All right. How about this? Most challenging, most frustrating, most and best. How about that? Give me 3 flights.
Okay. Best flight was probably the first one. Leaving there from Williston and going up to, come on.
Live Oak?
Somewhere, yeah, Live Oak.
Yep.
Yep. You know
I've
my
watched
route
your
better than
videos.
me. So that one was the best, and the reason being I met up with other paramotor pilots, and I was the only one that I met up with other paramotor pilots on. No, it wasn't, but it was unplanned. There was like a mini fly-in going on. They do like what you guys do here every morning there.
Yeah.
Just not students. So that was really cool. Just seeing them and making good headway and realizing, hey, we're doing this. It's the first one. Getting excited about the trip.
Right.
That was probably my favorite one. Most challenging would definitely be up in the mountains.
Crossing the Smoky Mountains is no small deal.
Crossing the Smoky Mountains.
We didn't even try to do it in the motorhome.
Okay. Yeah, because your turbo went out. That's right. Yeah. No, crossing the Smoky Mountains, I was taking a lot of deflations. It was pretty turbulent conditions. But then there was times when I would go for 10 minutes, 10 minutes, where there was absolutely nowhere to land if my motor died. And that sketched me out like crazy because like I always have a spot in the corner of my eye where I'm going to land if my motor dies because I've had like 10 plus engine outs. So part of which is because of flying on sketchy equipment, but actually, well, my motor did die on the very first day. Blew it up, but so that was probably the most unnerving flight, not the most unnerving instance, but the most unnerving flight. So just crossing the mountains, you learn why people talk about like Tennessee mountain men.
Yeah.
Because there's like nothing out there, no roads, nothing, and then you'll see like this shack, and there's people there. And it's
weird.
like, how do they even get there? I'd be more afraid of the people than of like landing in the top of a tree. So yeah, that was sketchy flying over the mountains, but it was awesome. I loved it. The view, absolutely
I can't
beautiful.
wait for that video to come out.
Absolutely beautiful view out there between the mountains. It was gorgeous. What'd you say? Most.
You said sketchiest. Most fulfilling. How about that?
Most fulfilling.
It's got to be flying into Oshkosh.
It was flying into Oshkosh.
Yeah.
Flying into Oshkosh. It was a 7-mile flight from the little RC field where we kind of rendezvoused there to Oshkosh. Actually, so I flew in on a Sunday. Sunday the 22nd,
22nd, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. It was in the afternoon. Me and my friends who had been up there, my boss and coworkers, we went to church in the morning, and they dropped me off at the field. So I'm there at the field with my motor, and then I called the ultralight field saying, hey, I'm coming in, because that's what they said to do, just call in before you come in. And they said, oh, well, it's closed because of a bunch of mud and whatnot, too much rain.
You're like, yeah, but I'm not
I'm
going
like,
to damage it.
I'm not gonna hurt it, and I'm kind of stuck here until it's open. So, anyway, Justin Fox, who's now on the flight line there, was able to get it opened up for me. So they literally, I saw them go out and take the X's off, and I landed, and then they put the X's back on the runway. It was awesome.
It's all-star treatment right there.
Yeah, I know. It was crazy. So, actually flying into Oshkosh, there's traffic everywhere, and I'm following the NOTAM very, very carefully. Reading it and rereading it as I'm flying on my phone. It's bumpy weather, and I'm coming in, and I'm probably like, I'm within the pattern, the ultralight pattern, and I'm like, I see everything but the strip. Where's the strip?
It's impossible to see.
You can't see it.
You can't see it
because
until
at
you're
300
over
feet,
it.
you cannot see it. So I actually turned around and went back out because I was not sure that I was on the right spot.
Oh, man.
So I turned around, went back out. I called Justin again saying, hey, I just turned around, went back out, just making sure I'm on the right spot. Of course, that scared him. Because he's thinking, oh no, where is this idiot flying into, who knows where. So, because I thought I was east and so west. Anyway, so yeah, that was an adventure of itself. But then landing at Oshkosh and then looking back on the route that we just covered was awesome. I mean, it was absolutely awesome feeling just to get there.
I've made some pretty epic adventures in my life. I've done big flights like this in airplanes. I've flown the Cessna 150 from San Francisco back, the 120 from Texas back. I rode my motorcycle from Tennessee to Pennsylvania to Florida to Alaska to San Diego and back. And that feeling you get when you finally complete it, it's something that's visceral. It's something that you take with you for the rest of your life. It becomes a part of you. I think it's a huge part of my draw to paramotoring, and a big part of the reason why I try to inspire more people to fly is because everyone needs to know that feeling. They need to know that accomplishment, like you've climbed a mountain. Exactly. I hate climbing mountains because I'm asthmatic and broken, but actually it was pretty great.
I hate climbing mountains because I'm lazy.
One of our employees posted something on Facebook that said, if you want to enjoy the view from the mountaintop, you have to go through the struggle to get there, and life's not all about the bullet. And I was like, no, if you want to enjoy the view from a mountaintop, buy a helicopter
or a paramotor.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh man. All right, we had a question from Craig Taylor. I need to find it. I don't remember what it was. Sorry, Craig. I'm slacking.
Yeah, no, I don't even like it when it's a hot day, no wind, and I have to run really far to take off because it's too much work.
It's true. Craig asked, he said that you have a 30-mile drive from home to work. How long does it take to fly it?
It takes so it's 42 miles driving. It's 27 nautical miles flying. And it takes me pretty much right at an hour. Sometimes 50 minutes, sometimes an hour and 10. It just depends on the wind and stuff.
You have a 42-mile commute to work?
Yeah, I know.
It's time to move.
I know, but my family's awesome.
How many kids are in your family?
12, including me.
12 including to us.
Yeah.
How many of them are going to fly?
I hope a lot of them.
You're the oldest, right?
No, I'm the 5th oldest. So
okay, I don't know how I got that so confused.
Yeah, no, I'm right in the middle. So I have 2 brothers that really, really want to do it. And one of these days when I get the budget for it, I'm going to get everybody paramotors and teach them how to fly. So, and then my dad wants to learn, and I have one sister that really wants to learn. And my mom really wants to learn.
Oh, that's awesome.
But she's afraid that she can't do it without a trike, but I think she can do it without a trike. Fine, so.
Trikes are cool, too.
They are cool, too, but
foot launching's really cool. Yeah.
You can't go to the beach as easily on a trike.
That's true. Oh, you could drive it there.
You can drive it there.
All right. So, more questions coming in. We need to talk about some things. I'm going to give a really big announcement.
Yes.
And then we're going to talk some about that announcement. And yeah, Keith Irvine just said that he loves the new intro pictures. It's Moraine Lake in Banff. Yeah, actually, I know it is. I've been there on my motorcycle trip, and John picked it because that's pretty much where they got married. So it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. We love that picture too. Good choice, Jonathan. Stole it from Reddit. All right, so we're going to talk about the big announcement tonight. We're going to talk about the Kit Fox and next summer plans. We're going to talk about a few other choice morsels, but man, I feel like we should tell the big reveal in a really big, grandiose way.
Just whisper it.
Does somebody have a marker I can just write it on my chest?
Do we have champagne?
We're going to pop some bottles of champagne for this. Guys, it has been an incredibly long venture. We have been doing this for over 7 years. We went from last year training 66 students to we're going to train how many this year, John?
120.
We're going to train over 120 this year, just at our primary school. What's up, Jason Sneed? Good to see you. We've been doing a lot of big things to try to ramp up our production of great students. And one of the reasons for that, I'm going to call you out on something. You had the opportunity to train yourself, which obviously ended up costing you a lot of money and almost killed you a few times.
Yes.
And then you'd always thought that Aviator was too expensive.
Yes.
Until you came here.
Yes.
And what's your perspective now?
So the perspective
you sat through a
now,
class now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did. I thought Aviator was too expensive. And if you look at them and then look at other schools, they are more expensive.
We are.
But when you look at the instructors they have and the time that they're willing to take with you and the amount of knowledge that you come away with, I've talked to so many paramotor pilots who are like, yeah, I'm a paramotor pilot, and they're like super timid about it and they're scared to fly every day, and that doesn't happen here.
Right.
Most people spend more than $3,500 on a vacation.
Right.
You come here and you're going to have the time of your life as a vacation, and you're going to know how to fly paramotors when you
Right.
leave. And it's an awesome place. I've been flying paramotors for, well, actually almost 2 years now, actually just over 2 years now. And when I came here a couple of months ago, shadowing the first couple of classes, a couple of days of a class, I learned a lot of stuff as a current pilot that flies almost every day. And and this is stuff that students would know on their first couple of days of learning how to fly. Before they've left the ground, they know this stuff that I didn't even know. So it's, it's totally worth it.
Good. So on the back end of that, we have been really blessed to have a play in kind of the success of the sport, because of Paradigm and Tucker and all of our videos and everything else. The sport's grown and grown and grown, and we get these contacts from people who are like, I want to learn to fly. And we're like, hey, we're registering for January and February right now, and that's the shortest our wait list has been in years, right? That's fantastic for us. And so they don't come here and train. They go somewhere else, and they end up having a bad experience. And as much as I believe in flight, I believe that learning to fly can truly change your life. It changes that thing behind your eyes. It gives you perspective on the earth. It gives you perspective on God. It just changes you. And I hate that, because where this could be a transformational experience that can make their life better forever, right? Instead, they end up having a terrible experience that cost them a whole lot of money. We had a couple email us about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and they spent $32,000 on their equipment before they even started training. And when they got to training, they did an hour of kiting, and then the weather was bad for the rest of the week. And that certainly can happen. You can have bad weather. Maybe they kited for 2 hours, and they were super disappointed. And the words they used that absolutely killed me were that we thought we were going to get Aviator style training because we paid for the course. And it's a USPPA instructor. It's a school that has pretty good reputation. So I felt really bad. I was like, I'm really sorry. We tried to send an instructor for them, try to find some way to help them not have this be the worst experience of their life, where they spent $32,000 and they got nothing to show for it. So we realized that basically we're creating the opportunity for people to change their life, but then instead of it being a good thing that they're happy about, it's like this terrible thing that's a sore spot, and that every time they look at the paramotor, it pisses them off, and they don't like it. So we realized that we had to increase our production here massively, and we had to start more schools. So we started with the Alliance program, where we had all these incredible instructors use our system for teaching, use our syllabus, and we're still there with those guys. Those guys are still awesome people, highly recommended. They have spaces available in Texas and Michigan right now. Really, really good dudes. Costa Rica as well. And so we knew we had to start our own schools, and so our first class is in January. And what we didn't realize was how incredibly difficult it was going to be to find a location. So one of the things that I'm going to ask John to do behind the scenes right now that he doesn't even know what's about to happen is we're going to have a form on our website where if you'd like to see an Aviator school in your neck of the woods, we'd like to have your information, whether you know a farmer or you know an airport. What? Yeah, actually, I want to add some specifications on it, so we will have a special form. We want to talk about locations. We want to talk about more places. But we finally, as of today, have our second location.
Yes.
So I've flown there a fair bit, maybe 4 or 5 hours. I just flew my airplane there today.
I fly there every day.
Yes, you do. I think you just gave it away. So where's the second location?
At X-Ray 35, Marion County Airport.
In what town?
In Denellen, Florida, next to Ocala.
Yep. So it's next to Ocala. The things we wanted, we want to have an airport that has, or a field that has a huge, safe area to launch and land. We have to have facilities to have an air-conditioned training room, just like we have here. We have to be able to paint the building red, so it's the same as ours. That's a must. That's a
oh,
must.
yes.
We wanted the first one to be close to Florida or close to Lake Wales. We wanted to be. It's a 35-minute flight for me and my airplane to run up there. So if they have their own stock of paramotors, their own stock of instructors. A lot of the instructors from here will be migrating there. But it was really, really important to be close enough so that we can monitor and make sure that it's perfect, because we've built the systems really, really hard. It's just like you go to Chick-fil-A here or in Texas, you're gonna get the same sandwich. We've done that, but we want to make sure that we keep an eye on it for the first one. So, what? Yes, I will be going there too. I'll be up there a lot. So master instructor is going to be Drew Solano. Drew is our has been running Skyfield Flight Works. He's an incredible instructor. He's been flying since he was 11 years old, I think, or 13 years old. And he's 40 now, so he's got a little bit of experience. So Drew's going to be master instructor up there. We're filling out the rest of the staffing. AJ will be helping run the school. It's going to be really exciting. So Dunellin's a special place to me because if you guys don't know about what's in Dunellin, you're surrounded by not just horse country, you're surrounded by incredible springs. I think that it should be a mandatory thing anytime we have a summer class that every class somebody like,
go to
you
Blue
have
Springs.
you have to have a day where you go to the springs and just cool off.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's going to be a requirement. Good for the muscles. That's right. So I'm super excited. We've got a 50 by 60 hangar that we just rented today. It's going to be beautiful in red, and we're going to have our logo on it. We're going to be just down the taxiway from where Bo works. So hopefully one of these years we'll be able to convince him to come work with us.
It's not about convincing.
But no, so super, super, super excited. Dunellin is a very special small town, but it's kind of like Lake Wales. Like where we are here in Lake Wales is a very small town. We have 18,000 people, very few restaurant selections. You guys have the river. You've got the springs.
Oh, man, we got it all.
It's pretty cool. Good hotel options. So we're going to be filling out all the information. And some of you guys who are registering right now for classes in January and February, you get to be a part of the beginning of this history. So I can't wait for the first class. I'll be there. I'm super excited. What's that? The dates are on the screen right now. Dates of our very first dates for our Dunellin classes. So Aviator School number 2 will be there. And for those of you guys who are interested in us having a school near you, whether you're in Nashville, Tennessee, or Fayetteville, Arkansas, if you're in Sacramento, California, we're going to put a form up on the website tomorrow that will detail what we're looking for so you can help us find a location, whether it's an airport that's very open to paramotor flying, a property owner who's open to us leasing some space. We would love to help plant a school. Our expectation right now is to have our third school open in 2020 as well, so and potentially the fourth. So we're working on it. John.
Scott wants to know if we will be operating and teaching on Thanksgiving Day.
Scott wants to know if we're operating and teaching on Thanksgiving Day. Yes, we will be here on Thanksgiving Day, I believe. I don't know for sure if we're going to be teaching. It depends on if it's flyable. If it's flyable Thanksgiving morning, you're going to want to fly. I think it's going to be kind of a game time decision. But that is a good question. Follow up, Scott, with Chris if you'd like to know more. He's in charge of that. I'm just here to talk on camera now. So that's the first big piece of news. The Dunellin School is going to be a huge opportunity for us to increase the number of great aviators, people who leave with all the knowledge they need to have and who have the confidence to be able to continue flying. So this could be a great experience for them. So if any of you guys have flown in Dunellin in that area, please leave comments on this video. We'd love to have you. All right, additional things to talk about. So today, my brand new 1994 Kit Fox Model 4 project showed up. And that's going to be something we're going to talk about a lot on the live stream. We're going to talk a lot about what it means for our YouTube channel and for what we're doing. Our goal right now my goal is I'd like to strap 2 paramotors to the struts and go fly somewhere to go fly somewhere.
Oh my goodness, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be really cool. So if you guys haven't seen them yet, I really encourage you to check out my friends on YouTube, Trent Palmer. Jason Sneed's in the chat right now. Super good dude. I'm actually flying to his house on Saturday to do some bush pilot training. And watch their videos. Watch their videos of what they do with these little fat tire airplanes. And think about what we could do with a paramotor strap to the side to go explore places that have never been explored by a paramotor. You know, I'm talking places in Montana that you can't get to by car, but you could go land on top of the butte, pull your paramotor out, and go fly off. You know, like
Oh
Dude.
my goodness.
So really
You're making me sick.
big plans. And the hope is that we'll be able to do it with my family. So I'm hoping to take the whole family out west.
Oh my goodness.
I may get a motorcycle and mount a paramotor to the motorcycle too.
Don't kill yourself.
Do some single track riding out in the boonies of Idaho. Ride a bike up a trail to go fly somewhere. But the goal is to do a whole bunch of partnerships with other aviation YouTubers, to all the Fat Tire Cowboys, all those guys. So we have a lot of possibility there, but it's going to hinge largely on our fans because it's not going to be cheap. The airplane, and we're going to detail all the costs of everything. I think that the airplane is going to be around $50,000 to $65,000 to build up. The RV, if we buy an RV for the family to travel out west with me, trailers, all this stuff. So it may be a Patreon type thing. It may be a buy a share in the airplane type thing. We'd like to be able to do this. I'm happy to put in my time to do like a super epic adventure. I understand that I'm not exactly giving up too much doing that, but we'd like to do more. And so if you guys are fired up about that, if you think it's something you'd want to support, you'd like to see happen, maybe even join us for part of the adventure. We are hosting our first Aviator adventure in October, and we'd like to do one every quarter. So we actually, you fly in this case, you fly into Panama City Beach with nothing but your wing and your helmet, hopefully some clothes. You get picked up at the airport. We drive you to this beautiful luxury condo, like it's a big house actually on the beach, and then we have planned flights that go like down the river to from Apalachicola out to Panacea.
Oh, that's awesome.
Flight across to Dog Island, and we have the motors, we have everything there. We have a chef coming to handle all the food and everything. So it's going to be
Sweet.
really, really cool. And we're actually losing money on it, but it's going to be fun. So and it'll make some good videos. And so we want to use this as a proof of concept. So this is something we're thinking about. The concept of the Kit Fox and taking the super adventure thing, I'm really, really amped about, but it needs to be something that the whole community supports, that they want to be a part of it, they want to see it happen. Otherwise, I can't afford it.
Right.
And we're going to try to get some sponsors in too, because we're going to be, sharing these videos with the world. So, John,
If you want to join an adventure, links on the screen.
if you want to join the adventure, please click the link on the screen or type in the link on the screen. You can't click on it because that would pause us, and that would be bad. They will be quarterly. So we're working on our adventure number 2 for Q1 of 2020, which will be super fun.
Sweet.
Yeah, and being at Denellen, there's new opportunities for fly-ins too.
Yes.
So past pilots could come. We might revitalize Wings Over Winter.
We can do cross countries from Denellen to Lake Wales.
To Lake Wales, that would be a pretty good cross country.
That'd be pretty cool.
Although I think I'd rather do it in my airplane. All right.
It is long.
So I'd love to know what you guys' thoughts are. There's 112 people watching live now. I know if you guys are listening to this as a recording or watching it back later, please send us an email. My email is eric@aviatorppg.com. If you want to help support what we're doing and you want to be a part of this project, I need ideas. I'm not good at just being like, hey, give us money. I want it to be something that's a win-win for everybody, that really helps support the mutual love of aviation. So,
Right.
All right. We've been at it for 41 minutes. We have shared some crazy, cool, sweet news about opening school number 2, which I cannot wait for. I'm going to be up there painting that building in a couple of weeks, probably. And we have talked some about additional location options, and we're getting people's feedback, because we have a huge audience of people who can help us look, because we worked so hard to try to get this location. I think we contacted 13 airports, probably 10 property owners. That's been one of my primary focuses for the last 3 months, and it hasn't happened. So
Yes, it has.
yeah,
Now.
exactly. It finally happened. All right. William Becker says, I remember you said on an earlier episode that Bo Feldman used ADS-B on his long cross country. I live in the Washington, D.C. SFRA, which requires a transponder. Can he talk about what he used?
All right, so I had ADS-B in. I had no ADS-B out. There is no ADS-B out for paramotors because we're Part 103.
I think he has a slight
to have an
mistake
in
there.
number.
Bill, you don't have to have
Right.
ADS-B out if you are flying an ultralight. I think it's a great idea. I would love to see ADS-B on everything. Because it's really nice to be able to look at your screen and go, oh, there's everybody.
They have UAV ADS-B for drones and whatnot, so I'm hoping that maybe they'll let us start putting those on there.
That'd be interesting.
So, yeah, because you can get like these tiny little, like $200 compact little thing. You stick it on there and for UAVs.
How much do they cost?
I think they're just a couple $100.
Really?
For
Oh man, that'd be
yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
Brian Me says training in Arizona. Arizona is one of our shortlist states, actually. We'd love to find some land maybe in the Tucson area. So if you are in Arizona and you know some property owners that would like to lease us some land, or you know some airports that are open to paramotor flying, send us an email and give us all your information, because Fletch, one of our instructors here, used to live in Tucson, loves it, wants to move back. I don't understand it. If I was going to live in Arizona, it'd be Flagstaff, but that's just me. So that's just me. Mike Landskroner says everyone needs to petition EAA to get Paradigm back on the main stage for Oshkosh 2020. We agree.
Yes.
And if you'd like to get us back on the main stage, you need to email feedback@eaa.org. Feedback@eaa.org. Let them know. Apparently, all of the people who are going on social media and harassing them, there's only one person who sees that, and her name is Sarah Nisler, and Sarah is one of the sweetest ladies in the world, but she doesn't have the power to get us back. So yeah, feedback@ea.org is the website, nina.org. All right, can there be ADSB for Part 103? Maybe someday. I don't think it's available right now. Let's see. Nate Goodwin has land in Arizona. That's right, you do, Nate. Is it enough space? All right, we have any other questions coming in, guys? We've got more to discuss. We'll go on for another 30 to 45 minutes most likely, and then we're going to drop off and go see what the weather's like outside. I may actually check it right now because I'm down to go
flying.
Go burn some more.
Oh, man, that'd be awesome.
Burn some more dinosaurs. There's nasty weather to the east, but it's just clicking along. Not bad. Steven Zavani, I believe we will be back at Sun and Fun. Yes, I will not receive absolute confirmation of that until December, but I believe we will. Yes. So let's see. Anybody else have any questions for Bo or for myself? We are happy to answer whatever flying related questions you might have, and we're definitely looking forward to getting people involved at this new school. I think it's going to be, honestly, like the flying location is considerably better than what we have here.
The airport is like a square block, but there's only 2 runways that go like this. So you have all that field.
So hundreds of acres.
I go out there and I can play over the field, or I can go out for thousands of acres of cow pastures, or you can go out and follow the Rainbow River that's 2 miles away.
Ooh, I want to do that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Are there any sandbars that we can land on?
No. Unfortunately, there's no sandbars. But yeah. Don't fly around the cows. The farmers are a lot more picky up there than they are down here.
They're pretty picky down here too. We try to avoid the cattle at all costs.
Yeah.
Eric Sheridan says, I may be relocating to Orlando for a job. Not sure if I should do it. Thoughts? Move to Orlando, except for the fact that you have gigabit internet in Kansas City. That one would be tough to give up.
Move to Ocala.
Yeah, move to that island. Move to that island. Everything will be fine. Saeed says, Maverick versus Eclipse for a beginner. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are it depends on your size. I think the Eclipse is better for a bigger person or a shorter person than the Maverick. The Maverick is more of a tall, lanky person. Like me, the Maverick is perfect.
I love the Maverick.
I love the Maverick. The Eclipse, though, it has slightly wider hang points. It is lighter.
It is lighter.
So we were just talking about that.
Yep.
But so I mean, I think they're both awesome. So, but it depends on your build.
It's your build. The big thing to me is, do you want to risk damaging it?
Right.
The titanium of a Maverick is really, really, really strong. It's hard to damage compared to a aluminum magnesium frame. They're both excellent. They are both a fantastic choice. I prefer the comfort and the strength on the Maverick for me personally.
Right.
If weight is everything to you, which it's almost everything to me, the Maverick's the choice. In fact, the Eclipse is the choice. I find myself reaching for the Eclipse very frequently when I'm just going for a quick flight, because it's really nice to throw 38 pounds on my back instead of 55, and that's refreshing. However, as a beginner, having the strength of that Mav is so nice.
Oh yeah,
it really is, and.
Right.
I would probably say Maverick. He says he's 150 pounds. Maverick with a 80 is a fantastic choice, and as your skill increases and you're upgrading to hotter and hotter wings, you can swap the offsets over and put a motor on it. Now you have two motors in one, which is really nice.
Yeah, about after your 200 hours of flying, you're gonna feel like having a motor on it. The Atom 80 is getting old anyway, so get a motor. $2,500 for a motor.
Actually. Jeff Booth just said, I will own one of each. This is Jeff Booth's beautiful dual start, the very first dual start Maverick, apparently. It is green. It's very loud and proud. And Jeff was waiting for this to arrive when we went to Oshkosh. Jeff drove us up. And
Beautiful.
He was relegated to the Eclipse 80 because that's all we had for him to fly. And he's like, I don't know, man. I'm 180 pounds. I don't know, man. And he got back from his first flight on it. He's like, I will own one. He's like, I need one of these.
They're
like,
awesome.
Yeah, he said for cross country, it's just necessary because it burns so little fuel. It's so quiet and smooth. It's like the absolutely ideal thing for him.
Well, I had never flown anything but heavy motors until I came down here for a visit a couple of months ago, and when I put on the 80 for the first time, it was the Eclipse. I actually went out and set up my wing with it on my back because I forgot. I literally forgot it was back there. Because I went to put it on, and I was like, oh, okay, it's on.
That's a good problem to have.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have. William Becker asks about what the rules are for the ultralights and the DCS FRA. I don't know offhand. I can do some research. You can also are welcome to ask your instructor. I believe you're training with us. So, Bill, if you are, I think it's Bill Becker. I can't remember if it's William or Bill. But if you're training with us, ask that question during airspace class, and we'll get it answered for you. No problem whatsoever. Jason Ham says, I see Tucker keeps reaching for the Cubic, the Nivik Cubic, which is quite a step down from the Freeride. Have you flown one, and what are your thoughts? I haven't flown one, but I can shed some light on the why. There's a big reason, and that's simply that when conditions are adverse, you're not going to see me reaching for my Freeride either. When conditions aren't ideal, when they aren't perfectly safe, when the air's not stable, I'm not going to fly a wing that's not trying to keep me safe.
Right.
I'm going to choose to fly a Spider, a Sirocco, a Mojo. Depending on how bad it is, I keep going lower and lower to those safer and safer gliders that are designed to keep you safe.
Right.
It's very important stuff.
I've kited one. And
the Freeride?
Awesome. No, the Cubic.
Cubic, was it good?
Nivik, oh my goodness, it was rock solid.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I haven't flown it. I've flown a lot of Nivik's wings. I think I've flown their entire motor lineup with the exception of the Cubic.
It feels rigid.
Really?
When you're kiting it feels rigid. That was what I noticed about it.
Interesting. I wonder if they built in some reflex to it. That would make sense.
Probably. I don't know.
Interesting. I will always say this after every time somebody asks me about a wing: find a designer that you trust. Find someone that you really appreciate the way the wing flies. I had two Nivik. What's their hot wing? Can't think of it right now.
I don't know.
Whatever their slalom wing is, I had two of them, 17 meter, I believe they were. Phenomenal. Doberman.
Oh, okay.
And it was phenomenal wings. Absolutely incredible to fly until it collapsed, and then it was like riding a bull.
And it was like the Dudek Nucleon.
Yeah, and usually way worse.
Oh, really?
Way worse. Oh, dude, it was really violent. And it wasn't something that happened frequently. But if you mistimed your speed bar pull or you do anything else like that, it's far from ideal. So I ended up moving from that to the Sirocco, the original Sirocco 19, and then 16, because I found that to be a much more stable.
Sirocco makes a 16?
They used to. The original was a 16. That was. They didn't sell very many of them, so it wasn't worth making it. But
you had to run forever to get off the ground, didn't you?
Not really.
Deep in the brakes.
The stall speed is so slow. You can get really deep in the brakes, and you're man, it was awesome. I like that because again, it's certified wing, a lot more balance, etc. Phyllis Hill asks, I know there's an RV park at Aviator. Can I tent camp during training? How are the nights there in November for sleeping outdoors? Should be nice in November generally, and yes, you can. So we can get you set up with that, no problem. And actually, that's something that's kind of cool to know as well, is that there is camping available now at Denellen as well.
Sweet.
So there will be, you can do dry camping at Denellen for $25 a night, as well as campgrounds in the area. So that's good. It was one of the things we were worried about because people like to camp.
That's awesome.
Sudden Fashion, is the Kit Fox a pusher or a puller? Right now, it's a pusher or a puller because there's no engine on it. It's generally a puller. Do you guys or anyone you know custom print the wings? Saeed asks. Yes, we do. We actually have a 6-foot long vinyl plotter that we utilize to cut a ripstop nylon fabric that sticks to the wings. So that's what we do for all of our Paradigm shows, and we do offer that for clients as well. We've been told that many clients will end up writing off their entire training, motor, wing, everything as a marketing purchase for their businesses, which is pretty cool. So what does Bo like to do on rainy days?
Okay. I don't really have much time on rainy days to do like what I like to do, which would probably be like sit inside the house with my family and play board games or something. I don't know. But typically I'm working on rainy days. If I'm not working, then I'm editing videos or studying for my instrument reading.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I want to study with you. I got to do mine.
I got to get it finished this year. So that's my goal, to get it done this year.
Well, really quick shout out to Super Arrow who just popped in. Super Arrow is a YouTube channel. He made a video with Bo and I, and it's great stuff. It was posted on EA's channel as well. He's one of our diligent podcast listeners. He drives back and forth to work a ridiculous amount of time. And yeah, glad to have you here, my friend. Thanks for popping by. Let's see. There was somebody else here. No, here's the question. It's from Alex C. Can you fly a wing overloaded 2 to 3 kilograms? New pilot flying Spider 324. Can you? Absolutely. Is it advised to fly a wing overloaded? Here's the legal answer is no, it's not advised, because you now have made the wing uncertified, and summarily the wing is more dynamic. Practically, I've flown wings way more overloaded than that many times. At 2 to 3 kilos of weight, I don't think you're going to have much of an issue. That's not me saying that you're not going to die. It's not me saying that this is not going to kill you. This is me politically saying don't fly overweight. Practically saying I don't see it being a major issue, but I can't guarantee it. This is not me offering advice to do something that would be unsafe. It's a really hard question to answer politically. Because I mean, the reality is, I want you guys to be as safe as possible. And you know, if you have a Spider 324 and you need a Spider 326, call us and we'll help you out. We'll make it happen. Whether you trade it back in, if you haven't used it yet, we'll give you another one right now. So just contact us and we'll help you out. If it's 2 to 3 kilos over, me personally, with my experience level, I wouldn't worry about it. If you don't have experience, you may want to go ahead and jump up to that 26, because it will make you a safer pilot, because you're in the middle of the weight range now instead of the higher end of it, right? So it's definitely a balancing point. All right, let's see. Any other questions popping in? Craig Taylor hit the nail on the head. What is his experience level is he at to fly overweight? Exactly. If you're a newbie, don't fly overweight. Certainly not. All right. Dude, the comments are quiet tonight.
Yeah.
They're really quiet. I feel like we should give something away. We're going to give away the Ask Aviator Livestream shirt, which no one here is wearing. Kate was earlier in the show, so if you haven't seen it, I promise I will not give you a women's V-neck unless you are a woman or a man who prefers them. I'm looking at you, Jason. And yeah, if you would like to win that, please share this on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram, whatever else. Let people know that there's a podcast going on, and let me know that you've shared the post, and we will pick someone right now to help you out. Oh, Alex Diaz asked about the use of an airbag on a paramotor. Something I've used. I think it's a great idea.
I saw it the other day. I think it was awesome.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. It's something that actually I've talked to both of our manufacturers, both Fly Products and Parajet, and we've requested that they make them available. If it's properly designed, it is easy on your body. It's not something that's a challenge to launch with. As soon as you're in the air, you get in the seat, you have that big scoop of air, and it can protect your spine. And that's, you know.
Can even reduce drag, actually. It acts like a fairing, is what I've heard. Kind of like the free fly harnesses.
Interesting. See, I would have considered, that is the one consideration I have for it, is I think it reduces the amount of air that travels to your prop, which would reduce your thrust.
Could. Yeah, I don't know.
It could. You know, it definitely could. All right. People are sharing like crazy. I would like you guys really quickly, since you've shared, I'm going to add one more thing, one more layer to this. All right. And Nina's going to have to do some quick research. Actually, I guess I can do it. There is a website called YouTube. You might be on that website right now. And there's a gentleman on YouTube who has incredible adventures on his paramotor. And let's see, Paraventure. Is Bo Feldman Paraventure? Is that what's your YouTube?
Aerial experiments.
Aerial experiments. All right, aerial. I gotta find this. Experiments. I'd like you guys to go to his YouTube, and I'd like for you to please take the time to subscribe. The reason for this is because he's done something that no one else has ever done, and it needs to be seen. It definitely needs to be seen. Your editing and filming needs a little bit of work.
It needs a lot of work.
But you're editing on an iPad because you don't even own a computer.
That's true.
All right, so maybe instead of supporting the Kit Fox adventure across America that will inspire thousands to join us in the skies, maybe we should just all buy Bo a laptop.
No.
Nina says no. All right, so check out that channel. Go to his videos, like them, watch them, leave comments. Try to encourage him to continue taking these incredible adventures. Really, really cool stuff. I would really appreciate if you guys would take the time to do that. It would mean a lot to me. And for those of you guys who have subbed and shared, I'm going to pick someone in about 30 seconds. Saeed said he's already watched all of your vlogs. I haven't seen comments from Saeed, though. I went looking for comments today. I didn't see that many comments.
Saeed did get a wing. He found a mojo.
He found a mojo. Excellent.
Sweet.
All right. Somebody asked a moment ago about being 240 pounds, and is that too heavy? Is that too heavy to fly as a foot launch? To learn to fly. No, it's perfect. Yeah, absolutely. No problem whatsoever. Obviously, we encourage you to increase your fitness as much as possible. But no, not an issue at all. There's
You're going to be 250 pounds and fit, though.
yeah. Oh, yeah. We have had students that are significantly heavier than that without issues. So it's about determination. Exactly. John was 318 pounds. When he decided he wanted to learn to fly paramotors, he dropped down to 250 and learned to fly, and now he's back to 478. No, he's laughing in the background, guys. He's not throwing things at me. All right, guys. Thank you all very much for watching so far. We're at the 1 hour mark, and we're going to take a look here. Nina, who won? Steven Zavaney. Steven Zavaney won the T-shirt. Zavaney. Zalvani. That's a difficult name to say.
That is hard. I'm not going to try.
You're not going to try?
No.
Oh, man. All right. Let's see. Any other questions coming in? If you guys have any more questions for us, please let us know. I understand that the chat's kind of quiet tonight, but there's over 100 people watching, so you'd have to think they have some questions. If not, we'll just end the show right now, and we're going to go flying and stuff. We're going to go do adventure stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it. There's no more questions. We're golden. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Every week we try to bring the show to you in a new way. I have to give a huge thank you to Bo for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
The stuff
awesome.
You guys don't know is that Bo installs avionics for a living, and because he wanted to get off early to come do this, and also we could fly my 120.
Yes.
He's been flying Chris and I's 120, and he's rocking it. He went to work at 6 o'clock this morning, which means you have a 42-mile drive to get to work.
Mm-hmm.
So what time did you get up this morning?
Like 4.
Oh, my Lord. So thank you very, very much. Is it paraflyable there? I don't know. I haven't been outside, Jeff, but I would think that if the winds are calming down, perhaps. September 21st class, let's see. What's the news with the electric paramotor? It is sitting in the hangar ready to be flown, and we haven't flown it yet. Apparently there's an issue with the ESC where it's a little too jumpy, and so I just haven't been here on an evening when it was flyable. And I haven't been coming in the mornings except for doing tandems for people, for our students. So I just need to actually,
Maybe tonight?
Yeah. Maybe tonight's the night. Maybe tonight we'll get the opportunity. Bo's shirt, I'd rather be flying. This is something else I can announce. We are working on a whole new line of apparel. So there will be a paramotor version of that coming very soon. We're going to have a whole bunch of new swag, apparel, hats, shirts, cool stuff. And if you guys want to support the live stream, click those links down below.
And a Kit Fox one.
And a Kit Fox one. We're definitely going to have a Kit Fox one. I think it's exciting because if we're able to pull this Kit Fox adventure off, what it does is we're going to have my kids help me build it.
Yes.
B, I get to take them and help them see the world through new eyes. We get to take paramotors with us to places that have never been flown before. There's some launches, even just not even paramotoring, but like I want to get Tucker to come out for one, and we're gonna go land on top of this freaking mountaintop and
Oh,
speed
man.
fly down it.
Oh,
Like
man.
there are some spots that are just insane.
Who's gonna fly the airplane back?
Well, I'll let him speed fly one. He's a private pilot. I just gotta get him current.
Right.
So maybe we'll take turns. We'll take turns doing the fun stuff. But yeah, very, very good stuff. So, are you gonna fly the RV6 inverted Spaz Attack? Duh. Just got my new parachutes in today.
Sweet.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that is it for us. Another great show, episode number 22. Greatly appreciate all of you being here and joining us. To each and every one of you who takes the time every week to be a part of this, thank you both. Thank you to Angelina. Thank you very much. John, thank you. Jason for holding down the pre-show, and Catherine, who's already left. Guys, it's always a pleasure. We'll look forward to seeing you next week on the Ask Aviator podcast. See y'all later.
See ya.